All right, we're live. Welcome. My voice sounds terrible because I am incredibly ill. Or at least I was. Hopefully, anyway. Everything goes well. I got my Kleenex. I got my water. And my granola bar. Now, there's been some hoopla around the release times. From what I found on the Paizo Partners Discord, was someone was saying that it was confirmed to be 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is now. I did see the teaser feats. So we will see. Listening from work. Okay, never mind. That answers my question. But we're gonna see real quick. Hopefully, it should be releasing soon. But you know, Paizo's never been the best about doing everything on time. It's live right now. Okay. You have to forgive me if I'm being a little slow. And I'm gonna also combine this into a. I'm gonna record this. Blah. Oh, hey, there it is. Thank you, man. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, let me go ahead and. That should be mostly fine. That's my ComCon. Let's swap that out for. That's actually better. Alright. Also, why is my image so dark? Okay, alright. Let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so no chat on screen because it's gonna be going live. But I'm gonna go ahead and record and we're gonna take a first look. Alright, make sure that's all done. Okie dokie. Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Battlecry Gamer, and I'm really sick, but that's not gonna stop me today from taking a look at the Battlecry playtest here. I'm doing it live. When you see this recording, it will probably already be done, but I will be making 2 more videos once I've had some time to digest everything from the playtest, and I'm gonna be doing one for the Commander and one for the Guardian, and then you can join us live on third look at what is going on. So we have the Commander and its intelligence. I think a lot of people are very upset at the sheer number of intelligence-based classes. I can kind of understand why, but when you think about what stats you want for a class, you know, you want something that seems beneficial for more than just the thing your class does. Like, for Kineticist, at the very least, people would just not stop complaining about not having con anywhere. And they kind of wanted to keep it in light at the beginning, like how Kineticist used to be anyway, original Kineticist. But with the intelligence, we get more skill proficiencies. You also get trained in society and warfare lore and 2+ intelligence modifiers, which I'm actually... So... Well, yeah, they did say it was an intelligent fighter class, but, you know, like, you never know exactly. Not as many skill proficiencies as I was expecting, because this class seems like it's very much based on giving other characters your actions. So you'd figure that out of combat they would get more stuff to do. Warfare lore is interesting. I wonder if they're going to use Warfare lore for a lot of their stuff. And let's see, martial weapon proficiency, which is good. Trained in all armors. That's actually surprising. I thought it was going to be a medium armor class, but being trained in all armors is pretty cool. That means we got potentially heavy armor if you want it. And 8+ con, which is pretty standard, honestly. For classes that kind of fill multiple roles, that's not too terrible. Let's see here. Alright, tactics. This is the big one. This is the big part of it. You begin play with a folio containing 4 tactics. These are combat techniques and coordinated maneuvers. You can instruct your allies, name blah blah blah. As you increase in level, you gain the ability to learn more potent tactics. When you gain Expert Tactician class feature, you gain the ability to add Expert Tactics to your folio. And when you get Master, you get Master, and Legendary, you get Legendary. Ooh, interesting. I wonder if they're going to get Legendary class DC. That'd be kind of cool. Prepared. Okay, here's the prepared part we were talking about. So each day during your daily preparations, you prepare 2 tactics from your folio. Okay, so you don't get 4 right out the gate. You get 2. And when you draw, you can instruct a total number of allies equal to 2 plus your intelligence modifier, enabling these allies to respond to your tactics in combat. These allies are referred to as squad mates. Oh, that's cool. A squad mate always has the option not to respond to your tactical signal if they don't watch. Yeah, okay. Can't brainwash your allies, I guess. Oh no, unfortunate. You can also change. Oh, interesting. So you can change what tactics you prepared by just spending 10-minute downtime. That's pretty good. This does not prevent your allies from performing their own activities during their own time frame. Okay, that's kind of cool. Gaining new tactics. You add additional tactics to your folio and increase the number of tactics you compare when you gain the Expert, Master, and Legendary, yada yada yada. You can also add tactics to your folio with the Tactical Expansion feat. This does not change the number you can have prepared, though. Because tactic folios use shorthand and signals unique to each commander, there is typically no benefit to using or stealing another commander's folio, though you can train with another commander to retrain one tactic, blah blah blah, retraining. Okay. Drilled reactions. Here's another interesting part. Your time spent training with your allies allows them to respond quickly and instinctively to your commands. Once per round, when you use a tactic, you can grant one ally of your choice benefiting from the tactic an extra reaction. This reaction has to be used for that tactic and is lost if not used. That is really good, actually. So one of my concerns when looking at what the commander could do was you have to make your allies use their reactions, and different classes have different priorities. Like, your champion is going to want to keep their reaction almost no matter what. This allows your champion to still maintain their reaction while still doing whatever your tactic is, which is pretty cool. I'm going to read the sidebar here real quick. Let's see. To use a tactic ability, you must have one or more willing allies you have instructed beforehand during your daily preparations. Your squad mates must also be able to perceive your signal, either when you speak or shout it, in which case the tactic gains the auditory trait, or by, okay, so visual or auditory. While you can use multiple tactic actions around, a character cannot respond to more than one tactic per round, regardless of source. So, only one, each individual party member or squad mate can only use one of your tactics. That's super interesting. I like the idea of using multiple tactics and being able to command different players in your party to do different things. I think that's really good. Banner trait indicates an ability that involves you waving or otherwise actively displaying your banner. To use an ability with the banner trait, you must be holding your banner in one hand or wielding a weapon it is attached to. Interesting. Yeah, let me go ahead and grab the link. Though I will say, the link is currently available in our Discord. So if you want to just check it out there, that would probably be the easiest way. Let's go ahead and drop in that link there. And let me... One second, let me hop back to the chatting scene. Let me go to the YouTube side of things so we don't forget y'all. And there you go. Okay. No worries. It's, you know what? I'm glad we got it on there anyway. Banner, right. So talking about the banner, I'm very curious what the banner means here. Because that is just another one-handed weapon class. I'm kind of tired of one-handed weapon classes, not gonna lie. But it says you can attach it to a weapon. So maybe, I mean, we're gonna read it here in a moment, so I guess I don't have to really guess, but it might just be you can designate a weapon as attached to your banner or hold a banner. Because I'm kind of tired of one-handed weapon classes. They're interesting, we did them, but I would like to use more than just a one-handed weapon for most of my classes. Let's see, we get shield block. So good, love shield block. One of my favorite extra feats a lot of classes get. Warfare expertise. You gain expert proficiency in warfare lore. You can use warfare lore to recall knowledge about most creatures, regardless of type, but typically only to determine whether they can be reasoned with, their most notable offensive abilities, and whether one of their saves are particularly weak. Okay, that's cool. Additional knowledge, yada yada yada. In addition, as long as you're observing at least one opponent when initiative is rolled, you can use warfare lore for your initiative. Whoa! That's really good. Holy shit. So that means that as long as you can perceive an enemy, this will be one of the first classes to get a guaranteed legendary initiative roll. I mean, obviously, like a rogue who's always sneaking and can easily do so with feats typically does as well. But this is guaranteed. As long as you can see an enemy, guaranteed legendary initiative, and it uses their intelligence, which is also super good. Also, I do like the more specifications around the use, because so many classes have like omni lore that you can use for a variety of things. This tells you exactly what it is, so the GM doesn't have to like guess what they should or should not tell you. So that's really good. And gosh, my voice sounds so horrible. I'm sorry, everyone. You have to listen to croaky me. Also, I'm just so hyped to have a class that has good warfare lore stuff. Warfare lore has always been a really good lore feat that like a lot of people take and has been really useful. And I'm glad to see it kind of represented in actual like mechanic form. My voice sounds amazing. What do you mean? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are hearing. What I'm hearing sounds super nasally and raspy. Let's see. Okay. We get expert at level 5. Pretty good. Pretty standard. And when you crit succeed on an attack roll with a weapon with that, you're at least weapon. Oh, and another class that gets a crit specialization without any prerequisites. That's pretty cool. There's so many classes that get crit specialization, but you have to be like raging, or it's only against your hunted prey. So this one being just a free crit specialization effect, pretty good. Probably not super effective on a class that's probably not designed to attack a lot, but pretty good nonetheless. All right, we get expert tactician here. expert class DC. You add one more folio. These can be any mobility or offensive tactics you don't already know. So are there different tactics beyond mobility and offensive? That's interesting thing to specify. You can choose from expert tactics you have access to. Excuse me. The total number of tactics you can have prepared increases to 3. In addition, your proficiency rank in Warfare lore increases to Master, which I thought was going to be the case. So, let's see. Weapon specialization. Also, I love the Dwarf. Dwarves would be really good commanders, honestly. They have to coordinate so much in lore. Weapon specialization, armor expertise, perception mastery, commanding will. Oh, that's just their will increase. Weapon mastery, battlefield intuition, that's just reflex. Oh, they get on a success on reflex, they get crit success instead. They also get that for will as well. That's pretty good. So they get 2 saves. They get on success, they get crit success. And that's only up till, I guess, level 15, but still. Let's see. Master Tactician. Your rank goes up. You add 1 new tactic to your folio. Mobility offensive. You can choose from expert tactics or master tactics you have access to. Number you can have prepared increases to 4. And legendary proficiency. So legendary proficiency as early as level 15, which means at level 15 you have legendary initiative proficiency. Pretty good. Armor mastery, and then legendary tactician. Legendary tactician. Add 1 new folio. And there's legendary tactics, and you can have 5 prepared. No legendary class DC. That's sad. Honestly, I was kind of hoping for legendary class DC, just because it would open up so many doors for the class. But oh well. All right. Tactics. So these are the base tactics, not the feat tactics, which there are more tactics to learn. Now, when you learn feat tactics, for those who have not caught up yet, it does not change the number of tactics you can prepare in a day. So whatever feat tactics you learn, you have to keep in mind that they are going to potentially take a spot, but you can change them out on a 10-minute rest, which honestly, I wish Wizard got that like normally. They get it with one of their theorems, but I just wish Wizards and spellcasters in general got that normally. Defensive retreat. Well, I guess you just mix defense and mobility, right? Then you don't need to worry about defensive tactics. Call for retreat signal. All squad mates who can hear or see your signal each immediately step up to 3 times as a free action. Each step must take them further away from at least one hostile creature they're observing, and can only take them closer to a hostile creature if doing so is the only way to move them out of, towards safety. That's pretty good. Defensive retreat is really solid in some really nasty situations, especially when you learn that the troll with reach has reactive strike. It's always a scary thing when a group runs into a troll, runs right up to it, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know this thing had reactive strike. Now we can't get away from this thing if we need to. So that's pretty interesting. We have form up. Each can immediately stride as reaction, though each must end their movement inside your banner's aura. So that's pretty cool. Did they... One second, I must have missed something. Where is the banner? Oh, I missed it. It's at the beginning. Okay. Commander needs a battle standard so their allies can locate them on the field. You can start play with a custom banner of your choice, yada yada. Your banner can be affixed to a weapon or shield you are wielding. Shield too, that's pretty good. Or held in one hand and attached to a simple pull. Feats and abilities with banner trait require you to be holding your banner or wielding a weapon or shield that it's attached to. The banner, as long as your banner is visible, you and all allies in 30-foot emanation, so that's your command aura, gain a +1 status bonus to will saves against fear effects. Okay. You pause or resume this effect as part of any action you would typically use to stow or retrieve your banner, such as interacting to stow it. If your banner is destroyed or stolen, allies within 30 feet become frightened 1. Oh no. This effect has the aura, commander, emotional, and mental, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, so 30-foot emanation. Pretty good. Alright, back to tactics. So, form up, they have to be within 30 feet. Flag polearm does work. It does, yeah. Mountaineering training. Signals all squadrons until the end of your next turn. Each ally. Oh, wow. That's cool. So single action giving allies a climb speed? That's pretty good. Until the end of your next turn, all allies. See, what's super funny about this one, if you have this tactic prepared, you can use Warfare Lore in place of Athletics. Whoa! So now you can use your Warfare Lore in place of Athletics to make your climb. So you have to climb yourself, but all your allies get a climb speed of 20 feet. I think it's super funny. You just go up to a wall or something, and you're like, go, everyone! Climb that wall, and they'll just spider climb up, but you have to, like, trudge up. That's super funny. I like it. I just think it's really funny that the commander has to, like, actually hoof it themselves. Naval training is the swimming variant. I do like... Oh, do you also get that climb speed? Oh, you and each ally gains a climb speed of 20 feet? Wait. So then why the warfare athletics thing? Huh. I mean, so I'm assuming what that means is without using the action necessarily, you can, like, if you have this equipped, you can use your warfare lore instead of the athletics. Climb speed doesn't mean you can't need / don't need a climb check. It depends on the situation. Yeah, but in most situations, like, what's the point of a climb speed, you know? I think it's so you can climb outside of using the banner action. Yeah, yeah, and same thing with the naval training. Very interesting, very interesting. Because I don't remember tactics having to be used in combat either. Passage of lines. Da-na-na-na-na. Signals all squad mates affected by your commander's banner each can swap positions with another willing ally adjacent to them as a free action that does not trigger reactions. An ally can't swap into a space it can't fit into. And if one of the allies occupies more squares than the other, the smaller ally can move into any part of the larger ally's space as long as the two remain adjacent after the swap. Interesting. Not a very exciting one, but there's situations where I could see that being useful. I just don't know if I'd take one of my folio slots for it. I guess if you're in a really tight tunnel or like close quarters combat, I'm not sure. Offensive tactics. All right, here's the fun ones, I bet. Coordinated maneuvers. Let's see. Signal one squad mate affected by your banner, so they have to be within your 30-foot emanation. That ally can immediately step as a free action. If this ends its movement next to an opponent, they can attempt to reposition the target as a reaction. Whoa, that's so cool. So you can have your barbarian, as long as they're within your banner, step up to an enemy and then have them position that enemy like on the other side of them. Well, 5 to 10 feet around, depending on how many times you have to move them. But that's nasty. That can fuck up enemy like coordination really, really badly. So coordinated maneuvers is actually insanely good. Also can make enemies super easy to flank. Double team. Signal one squad mate again for 2 actions. Affected by your commander's banner and who has an opponent within reach. The ally can shove or reposition an opponent as a free action if their maneuver is successful and the target ends their movement adjacent to you, as or a different squad mate, you or the second squad mate can attempt a melee strike against the target as a reaction. Double team is okay. It's like coordinating maneuvers, only it offers an attack. So I don't know. It's a very interesting one. Coordinating maneuvers I like a little bit better because it's a single action, but double team is really good if you're already set up in a combat situation. So I don't know. End it! Exclamation point. Requirement: you or your allies currently outnumber enemies on the battlefield, and or you and your squadmate have reduced an enemy to 0 hit points since the start of your last turn. At your proclamation, the victory is already at hand. Your allies march forward, blah blah blah. All squad mates affected by your commander's aura, and each ally can step directly towards a hostile creature they are observing as a free action. Any hostile creatures within 10 feet of you or a squad mate after this movement must attempt a will save against your class DC. On a fail, they become fleeing 1, and on a crit fail, they become fleeing 1 for 1 round, and frightened 2. This is an emotion. That's kind of cool. Most of the time, I think End It is something that leans more into narrative. Like, most players want to kill all the enemies. Most players I've played with want to finish the fight. They don't want to leave it like half done. There's also like, what if the enemy goes get allies or whatever. So I don't see End It being really good. But all you have to do is have an enemy reduce to 0 hit points since the start of your last turn. So since your last turn, if an enemy gets taken down, I mean, this can be a debuff. This could be a debuff in a fight that the enemies are not necessarily willing to give up, because all you have to do is kill an enemy. You and your allies don't even necessarily have to outnumber them as long as you kill an enemy. I do like the fact that if you do currently outnumber them, you can do this. So, I don't know. It does have the incapacitation trait, though, so if they're higher level than you, they're probably going to succeed. Doesn't fleeing 1 trigger attack of, well, reactive strike from your fighters, though? Yes. It does. Which can be good if you have more than 1 fighter or more than 1 character with reactive strike. It's more just like you have at max end game, you have 5, I believe, different tactics you can have at once. So I'm just trying to see, like, when is this useful and why would I take this compared to like some of the other tactics. Pincer attack. Signal all squad mates, single action, affected by your banner, so within 30 feet. Each can step as a free action if any of your allies end their movements adjacent to an opponent. The opponent is off guard to melee attacks from you and all other squad mates who responded to pincer attack until the start of your next turn. Pincer attack is really good because it doesn't require flanking. So as long as they ended adjacent to an enemy, the enemy is off guard. The thing I like about this particularly is that enemy is off guard regardless of adjacency after pincer attack is done. So when you use pincer attack, your allies just need to move adjacent to the enemy, and that enemy is now off guard until the start of your next turn, no matter where they are, no matter what they do. This is amazing. It sucks that it's only against melee attacks, but still pretty good. Happy rogue noises? Yeah. So I'm already imagining the class used to make the far too intense conductor of a marching band or go dex based on a high school drill team, fly girl. Alright, reload. Is this the one that they showed before? No, okay. So this is a great one. I really like this one because this just lets you use an action to make your allies reload as a reaction, which is pretty cool. So I'm actually curious about something. I'm going to go back up here real quick. Because didn't it say that all tactics use reactions? Or am I wrong? Once per round, when you use a tactic, you can grant one of your allies of your choice benefiting from that tactic a reaction. I guess not. Okay. So a lot of these that say free action doesn't even take reaction, which is very interesting. Each can immediately interact to reload. When leading a siege crew, you can use this tactic to command your squad mates to load a siege weapon instead. Pretty cool. Don't know how often that comes up, but that's still very interesting. Strike hard, or no, shields up. Oh my god, so many people are gonna love this one. Each can immediately raise a shield as a reaction. Squad mates who are wielding a parry weapon can instead position that weapon defensively as a free action. Interesting. So this benefits parries better than shields. To be fair, you won't typically have too many allies, maybe 2 or 3, depending on your team, have shields. One of those allies will get a free reaction, like an extra reaction to raise their shield, which is really good. I know so many team setups where this action in particular is really good. So that's really cool. The parry weapon, I guess parry doesn't increase your AC by 2, so it makes sense. I don't know. Very good one, though. I really, really like that one. Shields up is really going to depend on initiative order. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yes and no. It really depends. We do know that the commander is very likely to go first in combat usually. So, that being the case, I mean, like many of these, it's very situational when they come up. Strike hard. 2 actions. Choose a squad mate that immediately attempts a strike as a reaction. Strike hard is really good because we've already said before, once per turn, you can give one of your squad mates a free reaction. So yeah, your fighter can just have 2 reactive strikes a turn if you really want to. That's really good. That's very, very strong. Expert. All right. Oh, there's not many in these. Okay. Expert tactics. Piranha assault. Designate a creature within 60 feet and signal all squad mates affected by your aura. Each time your squad mates attack the creature, you deal damage to it of a type that creature resists. They ignore an amount of the creature's resistance equal to your level until the beginning of your next turn. Piranha assault is potentially really good. I would say it's probably not one I would load up necessarily every time, but if you know you're going up against enemies that are super resistant, Piranha assault's really, really good. It's also really good to designate squad mate attack that creature deals damage. Let's see. Each time you or your squad mates attack that creature and deal damage to it of a type the creature resists. So do they have to be attack rolls? My question is, do they have to be attack rolls? Because it'd be kind of cool if you could do this to benefit your mages in your party by allowing their spells that normally require saves to also penetrate resistance a creature might have. So that's something I'm very curious about. It says attack, and so I guess it has to be an attack action, which is kind of lame, but cantrips and stuff, I guess it can work. I don't know. Well, you don't get it until, I guess, level 5 or 7. one of those two. So, I don't know. I mean, there's just not a lot of times you go up against enemies that have particular resistances, because like enemies with physical resistances specifically are weighted really high in the game as far as balance is concerned. Stupefying Raid, 2 actions. Signal up to 2 squad mates affected by your banner. These allies can stride up to their speed as a reaction. Each enemy that they're adjacent to at any point during their movement must make a will save against your class DC or become stupefied 1. That's nasty. So we have a mage bum rush if you want. That's really nasty. That can be really good because each ally strides up to their speed. That can be really nasty for backline mages and casters. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't even have the incapacitation trait, so that's really strong. Though I'm starting to see more and more of these have the commander class DC in them, which makes me really wish the commander had a stronger than average class DC. I feel like that just would have worked better. Well, not every class gets access to power attack. Master Tactics, Demoralizing Charge, 2 actions, 2 squad mates. I think that's about the same thing. Though this one's a free action rather than a reaction. And if they end up adjacent to an enemy, they can attempt to strike at as a reaction. For each of these strikes that are successful, the target must succeed a will save against your class DC or become frightened or frightened 2 on crit failure. If both strikes target the same enemy, the enemy takes a -1 circumstance penalty to their will saves to resist this effect. That's pretty cool. So you can, this is the gang up on the boss. This is the Jujutsu Kaisen maneuver where you just jump a boss and you just overwhelm them by pounding the shit out of them. So overall, really good. Really like this one. It's a free action stride, and if they end next to an enemy, then they can strike as a reaction. So not one of the better mobility feats, but if you intermix this with some of the other feats to give, like, this can be a good maneuverability alternative that you can then turn into a fear effect. Also, I really like how they do a lot of fear effects in these, because demoralize is once per target, essentially, per character, and not every character is going to be good at demoralizing. So this is a good way to stack a lot of fear in a fight. Hey, Ready, Aim, Fire. For those of you who don't know, this was teased by Michael Sayer on Twitter. This one's very interesting, and I have some things to talk about, but let's talk about what it does. So, 2 actions. You command everyone in your banner, and everyone can swap to a ranged weapon and reload. So this lets you swap and reload both as free actions, and then make a ranged strike against an enemy that both you and your squad mates are perceiving as a reaction. And special, if one of your squad mates knows or has prepared a cantrip with a range of 30 feet or more, they can cast it as a reaction, targeting an enemy you both are observing, or taking other actions normally granted by this tactic. So this is really good. Some people made special mention that the kineticist kind of gets dicked over by this one, and a part of me agrees. I don't know why Kinetic Blast can't be here. Like, balance-wise, it would do nothing to change the game. But I would also say this maneuver is only specifically good if you have a bunch of allies who are even good at using ranged weapons in the first place. So, you know, like, it's not only kineticists getting dicked over by this one. You do this one and your barbarian or your champion is just like, what do you want me to do? Use a bow? I have like a -4 dex. Come on. It's really cool. The fact that you can command everyone to do so, and one of them will get that reaction for free, is pretty cool. Though, I will make special mention, nothing here states that they then swap back to whatever weapon they were holding before. So, your fighter on the front line probably won't want to use this either, honestly. So I feel like this is just, again, one of those specific situations. I don't know why Kinesis Blast got kind of nerfed out of this, but I'm glad that if you have a party of mages, this can be really, really cool, because cantrips are pretty goated, honestly. Alright, Legendary Tactics, Executioner's Volley. Once per 10 minutes, 2 actions. Command your squad mates to act as a lethal firing brigade. You and each affected squad mate affected by your commander's banner can attempt a range strike as a reaction against a single target you designate. Combine all the damage from this attack for the purpose of resistances and weaknesses. If the designated target is a living creature, these attacks gain the death effects and gain the death trait. If the designated target dies as a result of this tactic, all other enemies within the affected area of your commander's banner must succeed a will save against your class CC or just straight up frighten 2. That's pretty good. I love this one. It just feels like a stronger version of Ready Aim Fire. Even though I understand Ready Aim Fire is better when your allies aren't all already like equipped up. But this one's really, really good. Also, I will make special mention. This, like many of the other feats, I keep missing this because my expectation is you're giving actions rather than utilizing them. Like, think about it. This particular action for 2 actions lets you and all your squad mates who have ranged weapons make a strike. So for 2 actions, you get the benefit of you times number of, or plus number of allies with ranged weapons making a full attack on an enemy. These are also reactions. So yeah, the commander is not a pacifist. They're not sitting there not doing damage. They're expected to have their stuff going as well. Greetings. Is the playtest now available, Teat Roll? Yes, it is available. I posted a link in the chat earlier, or you can check out the Discord, linked in the description, to find a link in our general channel. Valkyrie's Charge. I love Valkyrie stuff. It's usually always really good. 3 actions. I think this is the first 3 action one, right? Yeah, this is the first 3 action one. You and your allies defy death and defeat to make a glorious final charge. You restore 80 points to yourself and each squad mate affected by your commander's banner. This has the healing trait. If an affected ally was unconscious due to being reduced to 0 hit points, they can immediately stand and pick up any dropped weapons. Then each affected ally can stride up to twice their speed directly towards an enemy they're observing. At the end of their movement, if an enemy is within reach, they can attempt to strike that enemy as a reaction. You and your squad mates can use Valkyrie to charge while burrowing, climbing, flying, swimming, yada yada yada. Okay. Alright. Whoa, Commander. Calm the fuck down. So you're telling me you have a group heal that does 80 HP per, can make allies instantly stand up from being downed and pick up their weapons? Then they get to stride twice and strike, and you get to stride as well, right? No, you don't. Then each affected ally can stride up to twice. Doesn't say you. That's pretty baller. Did I not just say Valkyrie stuff is always really cool? It's always the coolest shit in any game. Valkyrie in the name, it's amazing. This is amazing. So, yeah. And we're not even at the feats yet. That's just the tactics you can pick up leveling normally, not including anything you can pick up through feats. So, yeah, let's get into the feats. Alright, you treat heavy armor as being 1 bulk lighter than it actually is. And you can rest normally while wearing armor of any type. In exploration mode, you and your allies use your normal speed without including your armor speed. That's actually pretty good. Armored Regiment is really solid. If anyone's been playing games with exploration, like Kingmaker, you will know how terrible it is to have a fully armored ally in the mix for your travel speed. That's really good, and no more surprise when you are getting a sneak attack while you're sleeping, because you can sleep in your armor. This is the earliest level you can sleep in your armor at, which is pretty nuts. Time to look on a reference of commanders to make a character. I'm already sold on the idea. This is pretty baller. I really like this class. What is Battlecry? Battlecry is the newest playtest that's been released, featuring the 2 new classes that will be coming out in a book. Unnamed book sometime next year. Yeah, a lot of people have been comparing it to that. I know Ronald did as well. I was going to make a video talking about that, and then this is the best my voice has sounded. Also, talking before used to, like, put me out. I used to get so tired. So, we're late to the party, but yeah, a lot of Warlord vibes for sure. Hey, yo, look, they get combat assessment, same as Fighter. Only slightly better. On a hit, you can immediately attempt to recall knowledge about the target. On a critical hit, you gain +2 on the chance. Yeah, I think this is the same as the Fighter one. So, pretty cool. Combat Medic. Oh, we got some mixing here. You are trained in medicine, and you can use your intelligence modifier in place of your wisdom modifier for medicine. You gain the battle medicine feat. Super good. That's it. I mean, that's good. I'm surprised they don't let you just use warfare lore. But using intelligence, getting trained in medicine, and getting battle medicine as a feat, all at level 1. Pretty nice. Really, really good. It's a shame I have some character deaths in my future. Oh, well. Yeah, right. I feel that. Commander Steed. Oh! Animal companions. Animal companions. Yo, let's go. That's sick. I'm actually so hyped that I get animal companion. You can fix your banner to your companions, saddle, or barding. That's even more hype. And that affects even if you're not on your companion, you can use your companion to give the effects. That's so interesting. Typically, the steed is an animal companion with the amount of ability, such as a horse. Okay, all right. Pretty sick. See, what I love about Commander already early, we have feats for giving yourself other roles, like being a healer. We have feats for doing recall knowledge. We have an animal companion, which changes how you play the game pretty standardly and fits perfectly in with Commander and the fact that most of your tactics are 2 actions. So most of the time, you're going to give a tactic and then command your animal companion as well. Really cool. Deceptive tactics. All right. You can use your warfare lore modifier in place of deception modifier for deception checks to create a diversion or feint. That's really sick. You can use your proficiency rank. So warfare lore replaces deception. Okay, pretty good. Yeah, Oh, you also gain the lengthy diversion feat right away. So yeah, warfare lore straight up just replacing deception, meaning you don't need to have charisma at all as a commander, which I find hilarious. Yeah, all these are amazing first level feats. Plant banner. You can plant your banner to inspire your allies. All allies within 30-foot burst immediately gain a number of temp HP equal to half your intelligence modifier. I would prefer that be based on level than intelligence modifier. These temp HP last for a round. Each time an ally starts their turn within the burst, these 8 hit points get renewed for another round. That's pretty sick, though. While your banner is planted, you can signal your tactic abilities only with auditory signals instead of visual. If your banner is attached to your weapon, you cannot wield the weapon as it's planted in the ground. Obvious. While your banner is planted, any effects that normally happen in an emanation around your banner instead happen in a burst that is 10 feet larger. You can use this action again while adjacent to your banner to retrieve it. An enemy adjacent to the square you planted your banner in can remove your banner as an interact action, ending this effect and preventing you and your allies from getting the benefits of your banner until you've successfully retrieved it. At 5th level, the temp HP granted is equal to your intelligence. At 15th level, they're equal to your Whoa! At 15th level, they become equal to your level plus intelligence modifier. Wait. Yo. That's massive. So, at level 5, you're like, oh, cool. Probably plus 4 temp HP every round for my allies. Level 15, it's probably 20 HP every round. Yeah. To everyone within a 40-foot burst. What I really like about this feat, and kind of one of the reasons why I didn't like the intelligence part, was I don't like this feat because the more things that require intelligence, especially for a feat like this, the less build diversity you can have access to. Because, like, having a low intelligence warlord or commander is not necessarily impossible, given some of the effects. Many of them don't depend on your intelligence necessarily. Some do, obviously, but not all of them. What I would like about this one is if they removed intelligence, because then what this does is you walk up to the center of the battlefield, bam, plant your standard. Now you're just a fighter. Now you can just go and fight with all your allies using your banner or whatever. And that'd be really cool. But intelligence is kind of needed in this one, at least up until level 15. So I don't know. I'd like it. I think it's cool. I like the change in playstyle. Also, other thing that this one really does super well is you can plant this in the back line with your range characters, so that if you're fighting way up front, you can command all your range allies to attack the enemy as long as they can hear you. That's pretty good. They also need stuff to use int, or why even have int to be a key stat at all? Well, yeah, I get that. But, like, I don't like how key stats are pure defining for some classes. Like, I've seen fighters take a penalty to their, like, strength or dex for, like, intelligence to play a different kind of fighter altogether. This one, though, not quite the case. And also, they already have things that use their intelligence anyway. I'm not saying don't use anything. I just, like, this one particularly I really like because you can plant this in the back line and command your allies to fire while you're up front fighting with all your other allies. Be kind of cool. Adaptive stratagem, free action when you roll initiative. Man, really good. Replace one of your stratagems as a free action when you roll initiative. Just replace one of your folios. That's insane. Adaptive stratagem, I think, is almost a must-take, depending on how much you go into your folios. If you get a lot of tactics from feats, I would say you need adaptive stratagem, because then you could swap to whatever you need as you need it. This one also further enables more niche folios to be used. I'm curious about something though. Do they get feat at level 1? They get a feat at level They get a feat at level 1. So, pretty nutty. So at level 1, they get 4 tactics, 2 of which they can prepare, a level 1 feat, and at level 2, they just get more. Really good. My voice is giving out, one moment. Defensive swap. Reaction. I don't know. Reactions are kind of weird on Commander. There's a lot of things that can make you give up your reaction. Let's see. You are adjacent to a willing ally who is the target of an attack roll. You and the required ally immediately swap positions with each other. Whichever you was not the target becomes the target. Yo, defensive swap. Pretty cool. Either 1, you're playing a super tanky commander and can swap with someone to take a blow, or 2, you swap with a barbarian. Something else I really like about this idea, the barbarian has that 1 feat that makes them rage as a reaction to taking damage. That's a really nasty bomb you can drop on an enemy. Just swap with the barbarian, they take the hit, they got a bazillion HP, and then they start raging. Pretty good. I don't know if we're gonna get like more Warfare lore skill feats necessarily. I think this is just the class that uses Warfare, and that's about it. Just like how there's no esoteric lore feats, skill feats. Guiding shot. 1 action. You're wielding a ranged weapon. Your ranged attack helps guide your allies into striking your enemy's weak point. Attempt to strike with a required weapon. If it hits, the next creature other than you to attack the same target before the start of your next turn gains a +1 circumstance bonus or +2 if it was a crit hit. Circumstance bonus. Circumstance bonus. Guiding shot can be pretty goated. It's any strike, not just ranged ones too, for your allies anyway. So, a ranged commander is looking pretty good. Setup strike. 1 action. Attempt a melee strike. If it hits, target is off guard against the next attack one of your allies attempts before the start of your next turn. Pretty good. Not a super great one in my opinion, because honestly, flanking just does the same thing. But hey, now you don't need to flank it. Sometimes you can't flank an enemy anyway. So, not bad. Honestly, pretty good. Tactical expansion. You get 2 additional tactics you qualify for up to your folio. You can take this multiple times, adding 2 new tactics for each folio. This will be a lot better when we know, because they're going to release more tactics when the stuff comes out. So, as much as tactical expansion doesn't look like a lot, because there's just not a lot starting out, this one will become a lot better when the book comes out, I guarantee, because they're just going to have more tactics. Would tactics work on animal companions? I thought the same thing, so let's answer that question. Oh, you know what? I already kind of know. Most of the time, no. Because animal companions have the minion trait, which means they don't get reactions typically. That doesn't say free actions though. So maybe some of the free action stuff can work. But the on average, your animal companion is just not going to be able to benefit from it. Summoner wins again. Yeah, Island stuff gets pretty cool. Rapid assessment. Attempt to recall knowledge check against 1 creature you're observing when you roll initiative. I like that one. I like it a lot. Not my favorite one. I like adaptive strategy way more. But if you're not using that one, rapid assessment, pretty good. Banner twirl. Ah, okay. People are talking about the cheerleading aspect. So, we got a new tactic here. Use twirl your banner around unit ally adjacent to you are concealed from range attacks until the start of your next turn. Banner twirl's actually pretty good. So the legendary Valkyrie assault thing works with animal companions. So one, I think this one does have a reaction strike as well. Yes, it does have a reaction strike as well. And then tactic wise, when you drill, you can instruct a total number of allies equal to 2 plus intelligence modifier, enabling these allies to respond to your tactics in combat. These allies are referred to as squad mates. So technically, there's nothing saying you can't designate an animal companion as a squad mate, but they do take up some of your limited squad mate slots, and they can't use reactions. And you only get 2 plus intelligence modifier. Maybe if you have a small party, not a big deal, but just remember, companions cannot use reactions. Unless your GM is pretty cool, which I tend to allow companions and summons to use their reactions, mostly because I don't see a big deal with it. But rules is written, they don't get reactions. Sorry about that, snot break. To be fair, Commander feels very samurai-y in general anyway. Observational analysis. You need combat assessment. When you use combat assessment against a target that you or an ally targeted with a strike or spell since the start of your last turn, you get +2 or +4. So okay. Intelligence fighter, we got a better version of combat assessment. And you could technically pick this up with the multi-class archetype as long as you're level 8. And you've done the, whatever the first version of it is. Also more snot, 1 second. I regret drinking my last mics last night. I definitely could have used the extra help with my throat. Shield recovery. You can bandage wounds even while holding your shield. Oh, cool. So, using a shield, you can use the same hand you're using a shield to use battle medicine, and you're considered to have a hand free for other medicine as long as the only thing you're holding or wielding in that hand is a shield. We got the shield medic build going. There's a shield medic here. That's super cool. And more, when you use battle medicine on an ally while wielding the shield, they gain a +1 circumstance bonus to AC and reflex saves that last until the start of your next turn or until they're no longer adjacent to you. Shield medic, pretty cool. I think that's kind of hype. Unsteadying strike, 1 action, attack, flourish. Make a melee strike against an enemy within your reach. If the strike is successful, they take a -2 to their fort saves. Whoa. Oh, only to be resist being grappled, repositioned, or shoved. Dang, I thought it was fort in general. Or -2 to being disarmed. Not trip? Lame. Both penalties last until the start of your next turn. I'm saying strike works really, really well with some of the other tactics we read earlier that have your enemies reposition. So, not bad for sure. If that's what you're going for, a reposition build, Unsetting Strike is probably pretty good. Well, okay, so this is a misconception a lot of people read. Anytime a feat asks you to make a strike, you're using a standard strike, which has the attack trait. Just because the feats doesn't say it has the attack trait, that's because the strike action does. Not that that overly matters, because you're using this and then probably a 2-action tactic anyway, so you're probably not even going to need to worry about your map regardless. No worries. It's something I've seen a lot of people say, so I'm glad to clear it up when I can. Wave the flag. Wow, there's a lot here. Flourish, mental, visual. Not a tactic, though. Interesting. You wave your flag. Each ally currently benefiting from your commander's aura reduces their frightened condition by 1. Pretty cool. Immediately attempt a new save against one mental effect affecting them. Regardless of the result, they're then immune for 10 minutes. Champion has a similar feat, but it's cool to see that Commander has this one. Oh no, more snot. What is going on? I chose the worst day to get sick. No, playtests typically don't get on Path Builder. Champion has the aura that reduces fright. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's same essential effects, though this one does come with the extra action of it's an action and they can reroll against a mental effect, which makes it a little stronger. But champion, it's just an aura. Battle tested Warhorse, the next companion feat. Good to see it. Also, your mount never attacks you, even if magically compelled. Pretty cool. Playtest builder is Nexus. Yeah, I think Nexus does do playtest build stuff. Efficient preparation. Increase the number of tactics you have prepared by 1. Boom. That's really good. That feels like a must take, if I'm being honest. Maybe not, but that feels like a must take. Reactive Strike. Pretty standard. Yeah, Reactive Strike, same as any other class that gets Reactive Strike. Shield Warden. It's silly that they put the prerequisite shield block there, but I guess you can pick this up through multi-class archetyping, so it makes sense. Oh, this just lets you block an ally with shield block instead of yourself. If you do, the shield prevents the ally from taking damage instead of preventing you from taking damage, while there are no more rules for shield block. So, hey, shield build, really good. There's 2 new classes, Zachary. We haven't even hit the second one yet. Defiant Banner, 1 action. Manipulate action. You and all allies affected by your commander's banner, when you use this action, gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage equal to your intelligence modifier until the start of your next turn. At 14th level, this is intelligence modifier plus half your level. Defiant Banner is so good. Just straight up damage mitigation, and at level 14, that's going to be probably in the realm of like 13. But it's intelligence modifier, which at that level will be plus 5, and then half your level, which is 7. So 12. I also math wrong, but I'm 6, so I have an excuse. Oh, a little bit higher. Officer's education. You become trained in 2 skills you're not already trained in, become an expert in 1 skill you're currently trained in, and learn 1 common language you don't already know, and gain any 1 general feat of 3rd level or lower you meet the prerequisites for. Whoa, holy shit. Officer's education is so good. You get 3 skill proficiency increases, you learn a language, and you get an additional 3rd level or lower general feat. Holy fuck. That's insane. That's so good. You can take this feat twice. You can take the feat twice. My god. That's so good. Rallying Banner, also not a tactic. Not as many tactic feats as I was expecting. Once per 10 minutes. As a singular action. Roll 4d6. Restore that many HP to each ally affected by your commander's banner. This healing increases by an additional 1d6 at 10th level. And every 2 levels thereafter. The effect draws upon your allies' morale and adrenaline. And has no effect outside of combat. So Rallying Banner, super good. That was a solid thumbnail face. Fuck, you're right. I need to open Twitch. Right, 1 second. I need to clip that so I can steal that face. Right, 1 second. Clip it. And you can take the feat twice. You learn a language is so good. You get 3 skill Oop. I might not have actually saved that one. Probably not the right area for that clip, but that tells me generally close to when it happens. All right. Unrivaled analysis. Rapid assessment. So this is the one that goes off with the free action recall knowledge. When you use rapid assessment, you can attempt 4 checks to the recall knowledge about a creature you're observing. 4 checks as a free action recall knowledge at the start of combat. That's pretty spicy. Battle hardened Destrier. Destrier? I don't know what a Destrier is. It is the increase to the animal companion. Okay, it's just the normal improvement to animal companions. Drilled reflexes. Need drilled reactions. You leave a lasting impression on your squad mates. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you can give an extra reaction to up to 2 allies instead of 1. Pretty good. Depending on your team setup, might be mandatory. Standard bearer's sacrifice, reaction. An opponent targets an ally with a ranged attack. You're observing them both, and you're also in range of the attack, holding your banner. Oh, yo! Okay, we're getting a look at one of the first taunts in the game. So this one, you, the triggering enemy must make a will save against your class DC. If they succeed, they attack your ally as normal. If they fail, the attack targets you. And if they crit fail, they get a +2 circumstance. You get a +2 circumstance bonus against the triggering attack. So that's the first technically taunt we've seen in the game so far. Not including actions that let you swap with an ally to take a hit. This is just a straight up taunt as a reaction. Pretty good. Commander is clearly an off-tank class. I mean, it can be. It can also be a range character or a battle medic, which I like the diversity. Targeting Strike. This goes off of Guiding Strike. If you don't remember Guiding Strike gave allies of your range strike a bonus to an attack. This increases that bonus to +2 rather than +1. And the strike deals an additional amount of damage, an additional amount of precision damage equal to your intelligence modifier. That's pretty cool. So make an empowered ranged attack that gives allies a +2 circumstance bonus. Pretty good. Very solid. So range commander, also really good. Fortunate Blow. You send an enemy up for a devastating follow through. Attempt to strike against an opponent. If this strike hits the next creature other than you to attack the same target before the start of your next turn. Rolls twice? Oh, wow. Advantage on a strike. And that's just a single action flourish strike. That's pretty nuts, honestly. Queue up your Barbarian or your Magus to do a big hit on the enemy. That's pretty dirty. Perfected Evaluations. When you use Rapid Assessment, you can attempt a 6 recall knowledge checks at the beginning. Wow, I guess just fuck Bard then, who can do 5 times. Granted, they could do it, I guess, multiple times, but why would you? Now you can just do it as a free action at the start of combat if you're not changing one of your folios out. That's really good. Reactive Interference, Reaction. An adjacent enemy begins to use a reaction. If the triggering creature's level is equal to or lower than yours, you disrupt the triggering reaction. If the target creature's level is higher than yours, make an attack roll against its AC. On a success, you disrupt the reaction. Pretty cool. So I will make mention, it does not say you're doing a strike. The only thing it's doing is you're making an attack. You're using an attack roll against its AC. So you do not attack the creature. You're just making an attack roll against its AC to see if you disrupt the reaction. But I do love the fact that if they're just weaker than you, you're just like, no, fuck off, nub. Just push them off and they don't get to use their reaction. That's super good. Contact with the enemy. Adaptive strategy, really good. You know that even the best plans rarely survive contact with the enemy, and you've prepared your allies to adapt to a wide array of contingencies. When you use adaptive stratagem, you can replace any number of your prepared tactics with others in your folio. Really good. Honestly, very solid. I don't know if you would need to do that much rearranging, but it's really cool, and we don't know what other tactics they're going to add to the game. Desperate Resuscitation. Hey, you need to be Master in Medicine and have Combat Medic. You have to be holding a Healer's Tool or wearing one in your free hand. Yada yada. 3 actions. Attempt a DC 40 medicine check to revive a dead creature that's been dead for no more than 3 rounds. If you succeed, the target returns to life with the effects of Raised Dead, except it still has the wounded condition it had before dying, increased by 1. Whether you succeed or fail, the target becomes immune to Desperate Resuscitation for 1 day. But a level 14 Resurrection, pretty good. And it's delayed. It's not like Breath of Life where it has to be a reaction when they die. You have 3 rounds to revive someone. That's really good. And with how many different things can give you bonuses to medicine checks, I don't think a DC 40 at level 14 is actually that hard. Quickening Banner, single action, once per 10 minutes. Each ally affected by your commander's banner is quickened 1. They can use the extra action to strike or stride for 1 round. Wow, yeah, just give everyone an extra action. That's really good. And it's not a tactic. So you can do this and a tactic in a round, giving so much action efficiency to your team. Confusing commands. Oh, based off of deceptive tactics. Deceptive tactics lets you use warfare lore instead of deception and also give you a feat. This one, each enemy within the area affected by your commander's banner must make a will save against your class DC or become confused. Whoa, for 1 round, 2 on a crit fail. Targets who succeed at their saving throw are immune for a day. AoE 2 action, like, confuse. Pretty good. Pretty solid. Undaunted Discipline, reaction. Your turn ends. You're currently affected by a mental effect. This lets you re-roll a mental effect. Oh no. Until the end of your next turn, you can ignore a single mental effect. You can suppress a particular effect using Undaunted Discipline only once. You can't use Undaunted Discipline to suppress any effect you chose. You can use this reaction even if the mental effect prevents you from using reactions. Pretty good. Not a reroll, but a suppress. Not bad. Demand surrender. This one's going to be good, I know it. You and your allies currently outnumber the enemy, or an ally has either restrained an opponent or reduced it to 0 HP. Choose an opponent you're observing. You command the opponent to surrender in a strong voice, and they must make a will save against your class DC. Crit success, nothing happens. Success, the creature cannot take hostile actions that include you as a target for 1 round. Target is fleeing for 1 round, and crit failure drops any weapons or items they're holding, lies prone on the ground, does not take any hostile actions against you or your allies for a minute. That's a straight up just make them surrender. It does have incapacitation, but you can mechanically make an enemy surrender now. Players have been asking for shit like this for a while, so it's awesome to see. Practice reflexes. When you use your drilled reactions ability, you can give an extra reaction to up to 4 allies rather than 2. If you had to take drilled reflexes. Which honestly, most of the time is your entire team. So that's excuse me, really good. 20th level. Glorious Banner. The banner is man, I choose a bad day to be sick. 1 second, more water. All right, Glorious Banner. Glorious Banner. Your commander's banner is now 60-foot emanation, or 80 feet if you plant your banner. Oh my god! The stats bonus to will saves and DCs increases to +2, and you and your allies are affected by a +1 status bonus to fort saves and reflex saves flat. Enemies within the area affected by your commander's banner take a -2 status penalty to will saves as long as they see your banner. Whoa! Drinking that Voss like a good YouTuber, yeah. Staying hydrated. See you, Sven. Have a good evening. But that -2 status penalty to will saves is actually kind of nutty. That's very, very powerful, especially late game. It's a level 20 feat, so you know, but still, that can be devastating. Penitent Victory, 1 action, once per 10 minutes. You wave your banner in Writ Victory, signaling all your allies the fight is won. You and all your allies gain a +4 status bonus to attack and damage rolls. Oh my god, a 10-foot status bonus to all your speeds and 40 temp HP. These benefits last until the start of your next turn. That's the biggest buff in the game. That is legitimately the strongest buff I've ever seen in Pathfinder. +4 bonus to attack rolls. +4 damage to damage rolls. +10 status bonus to all speeds. 40 temp HP. That's nuts. Now, this only lasts until the start of your next turn. But that's a very massive buff. For a singular action, not even flourish, you use this plus some of your tactics to attack enemies, they're gonna get reamed. Holy moly, that's so good. Yeah, the battle is over. Everyone is about to crit. A lot of them will. That's baller. So, my first impression of Commander before we get to Guardian, pretty damn good. I'm pretty excited. I do love how it mixes in some of the martial stuff so that you get to also do some of the cool things like attack, move, do whatever. The build paths seem very clear. I like the different routes you could possibly take. I like Commander a lot. I think it's really good. Nothing stepped out at me as being particularly strong or broken, like mechanically feeling. Some of them were really, really good, but the stuff that I thought was really, really good was mostly like out of combat stuff. They're exactly what you want them to be. They're a support fighting class that still gets to get some licks in during the course of combat. This is a very smoothly designed class. So overall, big thumbs up. They can just raise dead. Very awesome. Yeah. They're really good. Like I said, when I have some time to digest the content, I will definitely go in and I'll make a video about each of these individually. But for now, Commander, super solid. This will make Magus feel so nice to play, but honestly, one of the better out of the gate playtests. Oh, as far as out the gate, yeah, I think the only one that I would say I liked more was the Exemplar, but that's just because Exemplar is super cool. Yeah, being able to order mages to do stuff would be really cool too. Future stuff, future potential stuff. I mean, we got a lot here just with that. Alright, one second. I'm gonna grab a tea. Yeah, like a couple things that need to be fixed. Y'all ready for Guardian? That was just one class. Guardian's coming up next. I'm very excited. I am so sorry. Not a con class for all you who was hoping that this would be a con-based class. My deepest apologies. So key attribute is strength. 10 plus con modifier. You know what? Honestly, I think they could have done 12. They could have done 12 or be a con class and be plus 10. Or, yeah, plus 10. So, I'm kind of surprised already. Not a bad number of proficiencies, but it's not an intelligence-based class, so it makes kind of sense. Trained in all armor, trained in all martial weapons. Kind of mad it's not strength or dex. Well, this is supposed to be the heavy armor class, so strength just makes sense. Well, we get a big thing up here that says resistance mod reminder. So let's take a read of that because I feel like that's going to tell a lot what this class is about. You resist damage in several ways, like from armor specialization or to intercept strike. Remember that if you have more than one resistance, you can apply the same instance of damage. You will use only the highest level. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is going to be a class that gets lots of resistance. Guardian armor. Armor specialization at level 1 for medium and heavy armor. In addition, you can rest normally while wearing medium and heavy armor. That's really good. And the first class ever to be able to sleep in their armor just for free. All out. That's kind of cool. So don't be afraid of getting attacked in your sleep anymore. You're set to go. Really good. And you start off with armor specialization. Armor specialization as early as level 1 is actually insane. The amount of damage resistance you can get for level like -1 creatures, you're going to be damn near impossible to kill early game. So we got the early game easy class going. Intercept strike, reaction. An ally would be takes physical damage specifically. So not good against spells or spell attacks. You take the damage instead of your ally. You gain resistance to all damage against the attack equal to 2 plus your level. Yo. I would think it would be half level round up, but equal to 2 plus your level? I feel bad for the many GMs that are now going to have to deal with Guardian Champion mix of just the unkillable duo in your games. Their sheer amount of damage resistance is insane. Taunts. Oh, straight up. Okay, we get the taunt. I'm actually excited about this one. Choose a creature within 30 feet. They must make a will save against your class DC. Regardless of the result, it's immune to your taunt until the beginning of your next turn. Okay. So multiple taunting. If you gesture, this action gains the visual trait. If you speak in auditory, your taunt must have one of these 2 traits. Until the beginning of your next turn, the creature gains a +2 circumstance bonus to attack rolls it makes against you and to its DCs of other effects against you. It takes a -1 circumstance penalty to all attacks and DCs when using hostile actions against other people. I'm not going to spoil, but I'm happy with this class. Okay. I'm a little upset that legitimately Commander has an actual taunt that forces enemies to attack them, granted as a reaction. And this taunt doesn't actually force enemies to attack you. It just makes it attacking other people way more difficult. I don't know how I feel about that. I would have preferred a one-person actual taunts. Not gonna lie. But I guess I'd have to see it in play. It might be better in the end, right? It might be something that actually makes it where the reaction does make them attack you. Well, yeah. But, like, as a taunt. Whoa, wait. Whoa. Intercept strike has no range. Oh, no, adjacent ally. Never mind. Yeah, you have to be adjacent. I don't know. I would have preferred an actual real taunt. Threats techniques, though? Okay. I might be back on board. Choose Ferocious Vengeance or Mitigate Harm. Whether you stop their worst attack or strike them down for going for your allies. Juggernaut build, I'm hearing. Juggernaut build. Ferocious Vengeance. Oh, this is for targets of your taunts. Choose 2. Ferocious Vengeance. Enemies that ignore your taunts take your brunt of your anger. You deal 2 additional damage on strikes against creatures if they take a hostile action that doesn't include you as a target. This bonus lasts until the end of your turn. This additional damage increases by 2 at 9th level and 6 and 16. Not bad, not bad. I do like the Juggernaut. I do like the don't target me. Fine, I will kill you first. Mitigate Harm. You gain resistance to damage from critical hits made by a creature affected by your taunt. This resistance is equal to 2 plus half your level. This resistance increases. Whoa, wait. I mean, that's still really good. Okay. So Mitigate Harm, I don't know how I feel about it. I guess it's really good for a bodyguard playstyle. That also gives you resistance. And it makes you far less of an endearing target because they're like, oh, attack me, but I have insane resistance. Now, granted, the taunt does give them a circumstance bonus to hit you, which does mean that the chance of critting you, especially against a boss, goes up, which makes Mitigate Harm not bad. I just feel like it somewhat conflicts with the idea of taunting by making yourself a less appealing target. Tough to kill. You just gain Die Hard as a general feat. Or you just gain it as a normal feat. If you already have it, you can get a free retrain. First time each day you would be reduced to dying 3 or higher. You stay at dying 2 instead. Tough to kill is pretty cool. I like the Juggernaut. Unkillable Juggernaut. Looking more and more thing. Honestly, mixing this with Alchemist. Oh boy, we got a scary character. Expert armor at 5th level. Pretty good. Reaction time. You gain a reaction whenever you roll initiative for combat, but you can use only for reactions from Guardian feats or class features. What does that mean? So does that mean you just have extra reaction for the rest of combat? Or there's specific reactions for rolling initiative? It's not very clear. Mastery at level 11, also really good. Legendary at level 15, insanely good. Not legendary class proficiency. Ah. You don't get a reaction when combat starts before your turn. Oh. Man, I've been playing wrong for so long. I don't think it's ever really come up, but not that exciting. Guardian Mastery is actually kind of good. It has for me playing champion. You know what? That's fair. But then you're not really playing a champion as a guardian, huh? But this does let you intercept right away, which I think is the point. So, but you don't get that until what? 7th level. But yeah, Guardian Mastery is really good. It's essentially the same thing as Bulwark. What? No, I didn't. Oh, they did. How did I miss this? Your proficiency rank for commander classics increases to legendary. How did I miss this? I literally read this. I'm sick. Don't you know what? I'm sick. Don't make fun of me. I'm doing so much hard work for y'all. Okay. I feel better. Well, Rotom, not all classes get subclasses. In fact, most classes don't get subclasses. Technically, you get either Ferocious Vengeance or Mitigate Harm, though, as kind of a type of subclass. But, alright. Start looking at the feats. I need to wrap this up because my throat is dying. During your daily preparations for Bodyguard, choose one of your allies as your charge. When you intercept strike against your charge gains resistance to physical damage for 1 round. You can take 10 minutes to change who your charges. Bodyguard is okay. No problem. I thought someone in chat already corrected. They may have. I just didn't notice. Too busy reading. Bodyguard's okay. I don't know how I feel about it. It really depends on how often your charge is going to be attacked. But it could be good. Doesn't wow me. Larger than life. When you're clad in the heaviest of armors, you have an outsized presence. Though you don't get any larger, you are treated as one size larger for the purposes of affecting other creatures with actions like disarm, grapple, reposition, shove, trip while wearing heavy armor. That's interesting. Larger than life literally just replaces Titan Wrestler for pretty much anything but gargantuan enemies. Very interesting. I don't, again, not a feat I necessarily would take, but it's interesting. Oh, you know what though? I will say Bodyguard is actually pretty good because it does make taunting a bit better, because now the enemy has to pick between you and potentially a target that's harder for them to hit and has resistance. So honestly, Bodyguard with taunt actually does work a lot better. Long distance taunt, you could shout at someone 120 feet away. Just way in the back lane, just be like, hey, fuck you. Really good. I mean, I think it's good because one of the most dangerous enemies on any battlefield are archers with the high ground. Long distance taunt kind of helps with that problem. Reactive shield, same for same for Bastion, though you get it way earlier. So probably the earliest reactive shield I've seen in the game. Shoulder check. Shoulder check's kind of cool. Hey, idiot. This class is so funny. It's so good. Shoulder check's actually kind of cool. Because now, no matter what you're wearing, you can use your gauntlets to attack, which is pretty sick. That can be actually a little fun. if you mix it with Inventor. And it just makes an enemy off guard for the rest of your turn. Pretty good. It's only rest of your turn. Yeah. It's only really good for you. Target is off guard for the rest of your turn. Yep. Not bad if you want to go really melee heavy. And nothing here, I mean, states that Guardian needs to use a shield, so. Unarmed Guardian cam. Ooh. 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 Yeah, prepared attacks. Prepared attacks, that might work. Not very combat efficient, though, but it might work. Unkind Shove. I like Unkind Shove. I just... The naming convention's silly. When you successfully shove a creature, that creature takes an amount of bludgeoning damage equal to your strength modifier. Double on crit. Yep, we got a good bully build right here. Combine that with the Monk's Crushing Grip, and you have an animal who can wreck people just by moving them on the battlefield. Armor Break, 2 actions. You're wearing medium or heavy armor that doesn't have a broken condition, and your current hit points are half your maximum or lower. Make a melee strike. If it hits, you deal an additional 2d6 piercing damage. The additional damage increases by 1d6 at 6th level and every 4 levels after. This strike counts as 2 attacks. Your armor gains the broken condition. While your armor is broken, you don't take its penalty to speed, and if your armor has the bulwark trait, you retain the bonus to reflex saves, though its bonus is decreased by 1. Armor Break's very interesting. Peak Dirk Deltoid Energy. It's very strange. I think I like it, but I think it's very weird. Give up the one thing you really have. But, I mean... I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I don't know why you wouldn't just take power attack instead, if I'm going to be honest. You flex so hard you break your full weight. It's just hilarious. Yeah. You flex your muscles to crack your armor, pushing the charge into the enemy alongside your weapon. Very weird. Guardian is kind of metal, not gonna lie. Super hardcore. Covering a stance. Ooh, a stance. I'm actually very interested in this one. While you're in the stance, choose one adjacent ally at the end of your turn to gain the benefits of lesser cover. Whoa, until the start of your next turn. The ally loses this benefit if they're moved so that they're no longer adjacent to you. If you intercept a strike that would harm the ally while they're benefiting from this lesser cover, the ally can step as a free action. Covering stance, pretty good. Pretty much, we get the benefit of cover no matter the direction. Bonus AC to ally plus intercept plus they can step. Pretty good. Hampering sweeps. Okay, someone said this one is broken, so let's take a look. Until the beginning of your next turn, or until you move, whichever comes first, foes within reach of the weapon you're wielding or unarmed strike can't use move actions to move outside of the reach of your weapon or unarmed attack. They can still move to other squares within your reach. Whoa! Hampering sweeps is really good. They are just trapped on you. That's... honestly, it feels like a must-take feat. Do I think it's broken? No. Because as tanky as the Guardian is, they can still die like anyone else on the battlefield. So, you know, trapping a bunch of enemies adjacent to you and this doesn't even necessarily protect other allies you're close to. So one of the reasons why Hampering Sweeps is also kind of not good is if you're next to an ally to use intercept with, they are just going to be, if anything, more in danger when you really think about it. So it's okay. I think it's particularly interesting, but it's definitely something that I don't say is broken. And there's lots of ways that this can be bad, and it kind of nerfs one of your best reactions. So, but hey, this can allow you and the barbarian to keep an enemy pretty much like in range. Also makes unarmed guardian feel better. Raise heft. You have to block attacks. Two-handed weapons you wield gain the parry trait. That the weapon already has the parry trait. Yo, raise heft is good. Holy shit. There's I think I know that there's a two-handed weapon with the parry trait. I'm pretty sure it's an elf weapon, but I'd have to double check. One of y'all could probably do it, but raise heft is really good and makes two-handed juggernaut feel really good. Increasing your AC without the need of having a shield, very good. Might be a monk staff, true. Shielding taunt, you're wearing a shield. You bang your shield loudly, raise shield, and then taunt a creature. Taunt gains auditory trait, and the target takes -1 penalty to their save. So something the size of a dragon can't move away? Yeah, technically. Bow staff. Shielding taunt is very good. I love the combination of taunt and raise shield being one action. And I think if you're going to go a shield guardian, you need shielding taunt, because otherwise your turn is just all one thing. So shielding taunt, really good. Probably a must take if you're using a shield. I love anything that makes raising shield not feel bad, because it kind of just feels bad a lot of the time. Area cover, wearing medium or heavy armor. If you're in an area effect that requires a reflex saving throw and have at least one ally adjacent to you, you take a -2 penalty to the reflex save. And each ally adjacent to you gains the standard cover against the effect, which is +2. So area cover is pretty good. You can shade your allies from the arrows of your enemies. Well, not arrows typically, but like spells, all that kind of stuff. So area cover, pretty good. Averting shield. While your shield is raised, you gain the benefits of avert gaze. Very situational, but can be good. Flying tackle. Okay. Stride, then leap. If you end your movement adjacent to a foe, you can attempt to trip on that foe. If you succeed at the athletic check, you get a crit success. Yo, you could use your flying tackle with burrowing, climbing, or swimming speed instead of a stride. Striding if you were at the corresponding movement. That's really fun, and I love the idea. You're just like, flying kick, and you just tackle someone. And it's even funnier when it's someone underground, like burrowing. Just imagine someone's burrowing and then suddenly just legs from out of nowhere, just kicking them. That's really good. It's super goofy. The swimming variation is also really good. Also, yo, Spider Nos, it's been a minute. Welcome back. I want to do an unarmed bully guardian, just being completely unignorable problem for the enemies. That's really good. Fuck it. If I can't kill you, the fall will. That's really funny. And the fact that if you succeed, it's just automatically a crit success is amazing. Flying tackle is absolutely goated. And it's a level 4 feat. Man, that's so good. Guardian with Wrestler archetype is gonna be nuts. I can already tell. Intercept Energy. Your Intercept Strike also triggers with Acid, Cold, Fire, Electricity, and Sonic damage. Honestly, probably a mistake. That's probably gonna happen quite a bit. If I'm gonna be honest. Intercept Foe. Reaction. An ally is the target of a melee strike, and you could reach the ally with a stride action. You stride and then can use Intercept Foe. Okay. Intercept Foe's not bad. I think it's also really, really good. Level 4 is kind of bad. Not bad. It's kind of nasty because there's so many good feats in level 4. I would struggle to pick. Intercept Foe can be really good. +2 AC bonus to your ally when you rush up next to them. There's so many situations Intercept Foe I feel like can be good. And with that extra action, we get a level 7 to get a reaction at the beginning of combat. I can see that being used quite a bit. So Intercept Foe I think is really, really good. Shielded Attrition. Raise your shield and then stride up to half your speed. Fuck yeah, really good. Your movement triggers enemies' reactions as normal, but whenever an enemy chooses to take the reaction or not, if they were able to react to the movement, they can't react to your ally's movement until the start of your next turn. Shielded Attrition's really good also. Fuck yes. Raise shield and stride, even if it's half your speed, is so good. Yeah, level 4 is I kind of hope they kind of mix some of the feats around because level 4 feels really good and it's going to feel really bad leveling after 4. Disarming Intercept. You intercept a melee strike made with a weapon, blah, blah, blah. When you catch the weapon in your armor, you can move the body to wrench it from your foe's grasp. After intercepting, attempt to disarm the weapon used for the attack. You don't need a hand free, and you gain the item bonus to athletics equal to the... Whoa! Disarming Intercept is so good! That's insane, because also, remember, Disarm got buffed. So now, when an enemy gets disarmed, even if they succeed, or even if you succeed the check, they have a -1 to their attacks until they spend an action to fix the grip. So even if you don't fully disarm the enemy, this is just a free action along with a reaction to make the enemies attacking more difficult and possibly make them spend an additional action. Disarming Intercept is low-key really strong. And item bonus to based on armor's potency rune. Honestly, I was not expecting. If anything, I was not expecting unarmed Guardian to be as viable as this is. But man, it's really good. Disarmed Intercept is possibly actually busted. Yeah, potentially for sure. Not always, because there's many enemies that use unarmed strikes, so it varies, but it's pretty good. Energetic Specialization. When wearing medium or heavy armor, you gain resistance to the specified type of energy damage equal to 1 plus the value of the armor's potency rune, or 2 plus the armor's value if it's heavy armor. Okay, pretty good. I'm already building a disarm build. The level 2 feat that allows you to stride then make an intercept strike, yeah. This doubles with the earlier feat, right? Which one? Energetic Specialization? What do you mean doubles? Which one are you talking about? The earlier energy feat just lets you use intercept against energy attacks. And the resistance to the energy damage is the higher between your normal intercept damage or energetic specialization. They do not combine. Mobile protection. Oh, this goes to the bodyguard. Okay. Your intercept strike triggers when you charge. When your charge is up to 10 feet away and takes damage. When intercept strike is triggered in this way, you can stride up to 10 feet before you take the damage, though you must end your movement adjacent to your charge. Closer to the source of the attack than your charge, and within range of the or reach of the triggering attack. I like mobile protection. It's not exciting, but I think it works really well. Reactive strike, like many other martials do. I don't see anything special about it, so just reactive strike. Reflexive shield, honestly the same as commander. This is a good class, yeah, for sure. Stomp ground, really fun. It's the same as the dwarf archetype. 2 actions. Each creature within a 5-foot animation must make a reflex save against your class DC. Oh, it's actually better. You don't just make difficult terrain. You actually just make enemies off guard. The success is not good because 2 actions to make them off guard. I mean, okay, actually, two-handed weapon wielders stomp ground. Even if they succeed, you just knock them off guard. So you stomp, they're like, whoa, and then bam, two-handed weapon, pretty good. Failure, they're knocked prone. Crit failure, they're knocked prone and take a d6 bludgeoning damage from the fall. Stomp ground's pretty good. Definitely more of a setup one, to be fair, but I think it's really good, and even if they succeed, it's really good. True. It's very animated. When you... Sorry, phlegm. Group taunt. When you taunt, you can choose up to 3 targets within range. That's actually kind of nutty. And one of the reasons why I'm sure they made it where it's not just a straight up taunt like the commander has, ironically. Group taunt's really good because that's a 3 enemy nerf. And with other kinds of actions, you can pair this with raising a shield. Group taunt is really solid. -2 to all attacks against anyone other than you. That's really, really good. Mighty Bulwark. Interesting. But yeah, Mighty Bulwark feat. So you don't have to go into Sentinel for it. Yeah, true. It's super efficient. Quick intercept at the start of each of your turns. Yo, level 8 extra reaction. That's actually pretty strong. That's actually really good. Quick intercept, I think, is a must take. If your whole thing is guarding. If you're playing a Juggernaut, destroy the enemy's asshole kind of guy, probably not. But like, quick intercept is really, really good. Also makes you hella annoying. Repositioning block, reaction, use shield block to prevent damage. Okay, not bad. So, as a part of shield blocking, you can reposition an enemy. Really good, and honestly, it makes shield block even stronger because shield block, bam, instant damage mitigation. You have armor, which also will give you damage mitigation. uh, to have a massive amount of damage mitigation and repositioning an enemy and getting a bonus based on how powerful your shield is. Really, really good. Can be really devastating for some types of enemies where getting out of position is fatal. So that's a really good feat. Shield from arrows, reaction, trigger. An adjacent ally is the target of a physical range strike. You see the attacker, you're not off guard, and you have raised your shield. You place your shield in the path of the oncoming projectile. Your adjacent ally gains a +4 circumstance bonus to AC against the triggering attack. If the attack misses, you have deflected it with your shield. Is intercept not for ranged attacks? No, it can be ranged attacks. I don't know why you take this rather than intercepting strike. Other than, I guess, just the chance to reduce or to increase their AC by a lot more to make sure no one gets hit. But honestly, I don't know. Yeah, like I understand the purpose. I just I'm just trying to think if I was selecting feats, would I select this one? Would I already have a way? Because like the thing is like the class you want to be hit a lot of the time, especially if you have mitigation. And honestly, with mitigation and all the resistances, man, it's really easy to make attacks almost worthless. I don't know if I'd take an extra feat for a reaction that I feel like I already kind of have anyway. Am I taking over group taunt or extra reaction? I don't know. Yeah, see, that's the thing. There's just better feats. IMO. Group taunt especially, or quick intercept. Shield from arrows just feels kind of lackluster. Level 10, get behind me. When you use intercept strike to protect an ally, you can move the ally up to 10 feet within your reach if they're willing. You can't move your ally into or through obstacles, blah, blah, blah. If you have intercept foe, you can move your ally in the same way if you end your move adjacent to your ally. That's pretty good, and I like how it goes with intercept foe in addition. So get behind me, pretty good, and it has some decent combo potential. Shield salvation, this seems like the same one you get from Bastion. If a shield would be destroyed due to damage taken from your shield block, your shield remains intact at 1 HP. Its construction is weakened, and it'll take the time to thoroughly repair. You can't do this until your next daily... Yeah. Same as the archetype. Not super fancy, but good if you really value your shield. Sure-footed. If you're knocked off balance, your armor continues to protect you. You don't take a penalty to AC from the clumsy condition if you're wearing medium or heavy armor, and the armor isn't broken. The clumsy condition still applies to other dexterity-based checks and DCs. I don't know how often players get clumsy, honestly, but that's potentially really good. So, I say solid, at the very least. Tough cookie. Once per day. Your current HP is at half your maximum or less. You gain temp HP equal to half your maximum. Whoa! Tough cookie! Holy shit! That's amazing. Oh, okay, 1 second. Must clip. All right. That's good. So if you're at half HP, you're like nuh-uh, and you're at full HP equivalently for a minute. What? Shield from arrows potentially can make you roll to hit enemies with the arrows you deflected? I mean, not standardly, unless that's what it says. Yeah, it's not what it says. Yeah, which means at level 10 you have equivalently 180 HP once per day. That's really good. Armor counterattack, intercept strike. You intercept a melee strike once per minute. After intercepting the strike, you make your own strike against the triggering enemy. If the strike hits, the target is off guard against the next strike made against them. Armor counterattack's so good. Juggernaut, Juggernaut, Juggernaut. I can just see two-handed fighter, right? Or well, Guardian right there. They're like, hit my ally. Do it. I dare you, bitch. Because if you do, I'm gonna wail on you with this Tetsubo or whatever weapon. Armor counterattack is really good. Paragon's Guard. Oh, oh. Paragon's Guard. Always stance that makes you always raising your shield. If you combine that with averting shield, that means in that stance, you're always raising your shield and you're always averting your gaze. I don't know how that's pretty niche, but the fact that it combos like that, pretty huge. Also makes it way easier to get your shield feats off. So Paragon's Guard, insanely good. But you can also be a pillar of cover for your allies. True. With get behind me? No. Is it area cover? No. Though shielded attrition does lose its effectiveness, but I think overall it's better because now you can just have your shield up all the time. Might be a later feat? Okay. But pretty good, I will say. But sadly for many, it's level 12, so you can't pick it up with multi-class archetyping. Sag. Right where you want them. Increase the distance you reposition or shove opponents to 10 feet on success and 15 on crit success. That's potentially really good. That combined with Commander can be really nutty. So, more niche, but very potentially interesting. Blanket defense. 3 actions. You're wielding a shield. Raise a shield until the beginning of your next turn, or until you no longer have your shield raised. Each ally that ends their turn adjacent to you gains benefits of your raised shield. You may use shield block to hit targeting any adjacent allies. If you're wielding a tower shield, any adjacent ally can take cover behind it to gain the benefits. That's interesting and maybe confusing, because raise shield is a part of the action, but I don't know if you can raise shield as a part of it. So I don't know. I mean, with Paragon Guard, that technically could mean you could just get a huge benefit to all your allies. That seems a little strong, honestly. So I don't think that's actually the intent behind blanket defense. But I don't know. I guess GM discretion. Very interesting rule combination. Yeah, I wouldn't say so personally. It would be kind of really strong otherwise. Oh, it doesn't matter. It says until beginning of your next turn or until you no longer have your shield raised. So even if your shield is still raised, its beginning of your next turn. Two action. Bloody Denial. It's gonna be a spicy one. If you, let's see, strike a creature. If you hit, the creature must make a fort save against your class DC. If your strike was a critical hit, the result of the save is 1 degree of success worse. Creature's unaffected on crit success. Creature can't use reactions against an ally you designate until the beginning of the next turn on a success. Creature can't use any reactions in the beginning of your next turn. Creature's also stunned 1 on crit failure. Potentially really good, honestly. Not the best, but Bloody Denial could be great. Improved Intercept Foe. When you use Intercept Foe, you gain a plus 10 foot circumstance bonus to your speed for the reaction at the start of each of your turns. You gain an additional reaction that you can use only to intercept foes. That's the formula for a pinball guardian build where you're just running to all your allies to guard them every turn. Kind of nutty. I really like it. Clang. Once per turn, when an enemy critically misses a strike or spell attack roll against your AC, either strike the triggering enemy or stride up to your speed towards the triggering enemy. If you do so and end your movement adjacent to the enemy, they are off guard until the end of your next turn. Clang goes perfectly with the Juggernaut build. So yeah, Clang, super good. Improved reflexive shield, same as the archetype version. So when you use a shield block against damage resulting from a reflex save, adjacent allies who take damage due to a reflex save against the same effect also benefit from the damage reduction. Actually, I don't even know if that's the same as the Bastion one. It might not. It might be unique. I don't know. Or that might be a change that's coming up in Core 2. We'll have to see. Never! The idea that you would hurt your companions even when you've lost your reason is unthinkable. Each time you would strike an ally due to being confused or controlled, you can attempt another save against the effect that caused you to be confused or controlled at a +4 circumstance bonus to the save. Failing or critically failing the additional save doesn't increase the effect's duration. If you would end the condition due to the save, you don't make the strike, and you can take any remaining actions during your turn as normal. Never can be really good. Never in some fight, like end game fights, which is level 16, can be really good because there's a lot of enemies at end game who have mind controlling spells available to them. All right, perfect protection. You're wearing medium or heavy armor. Your armor protects you from the deadliest hits. Each time you critically hit while wearing the required armor, attempt a DC 14 flat check. On success, it becomes a normal hit. DC 14 flat check, not bad. And special, if you have the fortification rune, it's only a DC 12 or DC 10 if you have greater fortification. That's pretty good. That's the best anti-crit effect in the game currently. It's a level 18 feat, but I can at least see taking it. Shield from spells. You can use shield from arrows against ranged spell attacks. Pretty good. Not very common, but pretty good. Boundless Reprisals. At the start of each of enemy's turn, you get a reaction. You can use any Guardian feat or class feature. The Pinball Guardian lives again. Just run. Guard. Run. Guard. With the number of extra reactions Guardian can get, that's really good. That's something that makes this very fun because Guardian classes are always kind of like plagued with being very slow, immobile, whatever. Boundless Reprisal and the many other feats and whatever you can get. You could be the most mobile character in a battlefield, which I find to be hilarious. The monk is over there just like, I can run across this entire room in a single action. And then they're just when they're waiting for their turn, they're just watching the Guardian just be like just running over like 3 times their distance. Speed of light time, yeah. That's hilarious. I love that. Guardian's such a goofy class. Quick Vengeance. When you intercept, strike, or shield block, you are quickened on your next turn. You can use this extra action to move closer to an enemy's attack, trigger that reaction, or strike the enemy. Quick Vengeance. Vengeance Guardian. Yeah. Is this the end? Yeah, that's the end. Zawaldo. Alright. So, Guardian, I have to say, is really fun. I think they've fixed a lot of the general issues with Guardian style classes, which is it's not an immobile class if you don't want it to be. I find it super ironic that technically Commander has a more direct taunt, but with how taunt can be mixed in with some of the other features, and how taunt can literally just be a reason why you just destroy enemies instead, I don't have a problem with it. It's really good. Guardian with Comcast medic skill trees. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Medic Guardian is very good. Guardian's really solid. I say Guardian looks like a genuinely fun defender class / really fun vengeance like juggernaut build. I'm playing Guardian. I wish it was 2025. I have to say today my favorite class was probably Commander. I think Commander just has a lot of very interesting options and versatility. But Guardian does look genuinely fun. Also, I gotta say, being able to fucking fly and kick someone while burrowing, flying tackle is the funniest feat in the game. I think that has so many great game moments. And for many of you, Armor Break can be a really good one too, where you just flex and break your armor. Commander, Guardian, and Champion Hobgoblin. That's another thing as well. Guardian is not punished for being so defensive. It could be a very offensive class if you want to, as evidenced by Armor Break. Also, unarmed Guardian is surprisingly super valid. So, yeah, honestly, they're both really, really good. And I think the thing I'm most excited about is what book are these coming out in? Like, what other options, what other archetypes are we going to get the book that these are coming out in? Like, how are we adding the spice? Like, the meal is already chef's kiss perfect. So what spices are we going to throw on top of it in the book they're coming out of? War of Immortal is already going to add so much on top of its 2 classes. I would be so curious to see. Also, we have 56 people on YouTube, 61. Oh, I forgot. A total of 61 total, including Twitch. This is probably the largest stream we've ever done here on the channel. So thank you all so much for coming out, checking out. Sorry you guys had to listen to my raspy voice for the majority of this. Also, man, 2.5 hours looking through this. I'm recording this, by the way. So actually, I should end that recording. So, you know, I'm gonna try to cut the video down. I'm gonna try to release just like my reaction video, live reaction video, cut up a little bit and taking some of the more like spicy parts. Try to condense it down to like 30 minutes maybe. But Tuesday, Wednesday for sure, I'm going to be releasing actual class reviews once I have some time to like digest and break down what these classes are and make a much more concise video. Going back to the beginning of the rewatch, yeah, you gotta. Some really cool stuff. Also, there's some really good clips in this particular stream, so I'm going to be posting those on YouTube and TikTok as well. Oh yeah, no. If you don't find it, Waffles, it's going to be in the live tab. I'm only condensing it down for people who don't want to watch a 2.5 hour stream. But it will be available on the channel. It'll be in the live tab. But I gotta ask y'all a question now since you're all here. What do y'all think? Is this better than War of Immortals playtest characters? Or worse? On par? I will probably have to give it to Battlecry. Mostly because Animist sounds really weird. I like Animist's idea, but I feel like as a playtest, it was kind of janky. It'll probably be fixed, to be fair. Commander is so rad, and I'm stoked to see more of the tactics true. Better for my interests. War of Immortals catchers are a spellcasting class and a souped-up martial demigod, though. So in terms of power, I feel like War of Immortals is stronger, kind of. Well, I mean, it's just... I'm not talking about, like... It's just, like, what you all feel, right? Subjectively speaking, they're both good. I still think out the gate this feels more balanced. Still could be tuned up though, of course. I think I gotta give it to Battlecry because it introduces just so much more teamwork, which I like in the game. But you know what? That's a good point. I'll double down on that one as well. Feels like it had more drafts than the others. I feel like they just weren't experimenting as much, which is because it's martials, right? So I don't know. Animus is interesting for sure. I love my Animus, but it's possibly the most in-depth class in terms of moment-to-moment play with action, compression, and focus. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just a vibe check, you know? Like, I'm not saying one is objectively better than the other. I'm just asking, like, what y'all feel, because I'm excited for Exemplar, and I want Animus to be really, really good, because I love the idea of swapping out different spirits for different skill sets and a caster that is more unique than other casters. But play style wise, I feel like Commander and Guardian have very unique, interesting play styles you can do with them. Exemplar kind of, but it's more just like take whatever a class does and like amp it to 11, which is good, but not necessarily different, you know. Animus can be different, but it felt kind of wonky, so oh, you know, I can go back to the chatting scene. Oh no, there's no chat here. Damn. Which is good, to be honest. If every class was experimental, it get heavy and they're not introducing classes for newer people or similar. Yeah, I agree. I agree, and that's why I think this is just really good. Paizo, Another dub. Another W. No L's from Paizo this day. I think it's really good. Seems like there's lots of hype for Commander. Seems like there's some pretty good hype for Guardian. I can't wait to start boiling down these videos and making something really interesting. If you have not done so already, you want to see more content, like, follow, subscribe on your platform of choice. We're going to be having another table talk, talking about everything here. Thank you, Ore. On Thursday, I'll have some more time to digest everything, and I'm sure the Paizo staff are going to offer some extra stuff as well. And if you want to see videos, check out the YouTube, subscribe. I'm going to be making videos, my actual breakdowns, and hopefully my voice will sound better. Because I'll record those tomorrow after I have some more time to rest. But yeah, really good. And you know what's crazy? It's not even noon yet. What a way to start a day off. Holy cow. It kind of sucks. I'm at this point where I'm like, I don't want to close stream because it's one of the biggest streams we've done. But we've kind of just done everything so far. So we'll have some opportunity. Alex will be here to chat on Thursday. And we'll have all kinds of fun dialogue and talk about all the cool stuff. And maybe like some more stuff that we've read into. And yeah, this is just the beginning. Paizo's releasing so much more. Literally in like a couple weeks, we're getting Howl of the Wild. Or at least I should be getting Howl of the Wild, so you guys get to see Howl of the Wild. We also have a really fun table talk probably next week. So be on the lookout for that. Not saying what it's about, but we have some interesting things planned. Then we get June off, and then literally July, we get Player Core 2. And there's just so much. Howl's going to be bonkers, for sure. I'm going to be making videos on all the archetypes and everything that Howl has to offer, so. Oh yeah, Tianxia Character Guide comes out August. So pretty much June through, or not June, July through October with like, I think some stuff off in September. We're getting a lot of stuff. Also, PAX is getting, or Gen Con is getting the Starfinder 2e playtests. And we have War of Immortals in October. Divine Mysteries in November. Yeah, there's too many releases. I'm freaking out. I got sick. I rarely get sick nowadays. I've been I get sick maybe like a couple times a year at most. And of course I had to get sick this weekend. I'm on the tail end of the sickness, so it's not as bad as it could be. But I got super unlucky. And terrifying amount of release Paizos. Please calm down, yeah. This is, yeah, just July, August, September off, October, November, and then December is end of the year stuff. You unlucky? Nah, I know, right? I'm living up to the name here. Yeah, oh, also, I'll probably have a world guide book about the new rituals and other player options in that book. Cam is an oracle confirmed. How am I an oracle? But alright. I legitimately need to rest. Curse of bad luck. Ah, fair. What can I say? I'm the Battlecry gamer. Anyway. Good luck with your games. Have fun trying out the new classes. Leave the bad luck to me. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.